We are in the fourth set of the 1984 French Open final between Yvonne Lendl and John McEnroe. Going into this set, McEnroe leads the match 2-1. Lendl has just won the third set. Statistically, in the third set, McEnroe was 36% on his first serve and Lendl 75%. So that's what really turned the tide for Lendl in the third set. And the fourth set was a bit different than the third set. Those statistics stayed the same, but the set played out much differently in a much more dramatic fashion. In fact, I had to take a break. I tried to watch the whole set at once, and I only could make it to 4-4. And then I was just so tired, I needed a break to get through the rest of the set. And I find myself rooting for McEnroe again, just like when I was a kid. I remember this long, torturous match, watching it and just rooting for McEnroe. I find myself doing it again. I kind of know what's going to happen this time, but I still can't help it, and I'm really pulling for him. But anyways, and there's a couple things Bud Collins says. I'd love to share his things here. I'll tell him right away. At one point, Dick Enberg asked Bud Collins why he had never picked up a. He's so good at giving nicknames to players. Why he'd never given a moniker to McEnroe, and Bud Collins said he said he would. It had something to do with Shakespeare. He said he would call him either Mac Best or Mac Beast. And then Enberg said, "Sorry, sorry, I asked," and they both kind of chuckled. But I like that kind of laid back commentary, and most of the time they're serious, but they do have some good jokes. Um, so it's kind of fun. And then Collins made one other comment when it was McEnroe was up 4-2, and Lendl hit a bad shot. He said it's rubber pants time in this match, but he never really finished the thought, and that's one I'm going to have to look up. What does that mean, rubber pants time? That's a apparently Bud Collins knows what it means, but I don't know what that means, but I'm going to look that one up. Okay, so what happened in the set? They Lendl had an easy love game, carried on the momentum from the previous set to go up 1-love. Then McEnroe got a tough hold, and then McEnroe broke to get to 2-1, and looked like it was going to be similar to the first or second set. He was doing a great job attacking. He had energy. He was coming up on Lendl's serve and getting volley winners, which is what he really needed to do. And right from the beginning of the match, they said McEnroe needs to be in attack mode. He can't just sit back at the baseline. That's not going to be a winning strategy for him. So sure enough, he was up 2-1, and then Lendl came back and broke him back to get to 2-2. I had a note here. He had one really nice passing shot, and then he had a lob too. He had a lob in the first game as well. He had a lob at the end of the third set. And Lendl didn't really have a real graceful lob, but it was very effective. He was good at getting it up over the head and into the corners. McEnroe, again, was just getting really mad at himself, yelling at himself, kept hitting his racket on the ground like a golf club, just being kind of petulant, yelling at himself, calling himself names, and just looked generally exhausted, not exhausted, but he looked really tired and perturbed. And I think mentally it affected him quite a bit. So then McEnroe broke him right back again to go to 3-2. That's three breaks in a row. McEnroe with one break and Lendl with another. Again, another really good. He almost looked more comfortable going against Lendl's serve than serving himself because he couldn't get that first serve in. He served for the set right around 35, 38% again. I'm not sure what the exact number was, but just as poorly as the third set. But he broke Lendl to go to 4-2. And then Lendl was serving at 2-4. McEnroe, he was kind of going for the kill here to get another break and go up 5-2. But he missed a couple shots. He missed a backhand down the line and hit it right at the top of the net. And then he missed a volley, too, into the net. Had a chance to win that game, but it got by, and Lendl won, to his credit. Then it was 4-3, and McEnroe was serving. got down love 30, but then went up 40-30. And this is the point where he says in his book, You Cannot Be Serious, that he lost the match. He had a wide serve to um, Lendl's backhand. And McEnroe said in the book that Lendl had been practicing this serve with Tony Roach. And I'm not sure why he said Tony Roach, because in the match they kept saying Wojtek Feedback was Lendl's coach. But Lendl hit that wide, long backhand, kind of chipped it all the way across the court and went into the near corner. And McEnroe just didn't get there in time. He said he was going to do a little, in the book, he said he was going to do a little drop volley, but he didn't think that was a high enough percentage. So he's tried to kind of push it out, and it went just barely long. Brought it to deuce, and then Lendl broke him back. But he said that was where he felt like he missed the match. He just didn't get to that shot in enough time, and missed the game point to go up 5-3. And then he would have just had to serve out the match. He never really had a chance to serve out the match. So it went back to 4-4. And then again, he just kept missing his serves. He just could not get that first serve in. That was the story again. But he had a chance to break Lendl again. Lendl was serving at 4-4. McEnroe could have gone up 5-4. He got it to 30-40. And then he made three straight errors. He had a one that was, Enberg called it a fairly easy backhand. He hit it kind of like the shot he made against Borg in Wimbledon in 1980. It was a backhand down the line. It's a tough shot, but the court was pretty wide open for him, much more open than it was against Borg. And he hit it just out. And you could just see he was so frustrated. And everybody that's played tennis, we've all missed shots like that where we felt like, oh, it's just there, and we just didn't execute it. That would have put him up 5-4, and he would have been serving for the match. Then he missed another forehand. He missed a backhand. Like I said, three straight errors, and then went down 5-4. Then he had a pretty strong service game, but it was too late. It just brought him back up to 5-5. And one thing I noticed is that he was just getting more and more frustrated with himself when he was losing points. He was hitting his racket on the ground, yelling at himself, 1 out of 50. His footwork was getting kind of lax. When Lendl would pop up shots, just mishit them or hit high shots, instead of coming in and volleying them like he did before, he would wait, just kind of half volley them. He even made an error on one that Collins noticed. He was just tired, and he would admit, he was the best player in the world for 2 hours, but after that, he would become vulnerable. And he did win a lot of five-set matches, but in the end, Lendl went up 6-5, and then at the end of the deciding game of the match, Lendl had a really big forehand, and then he hit a lob over McEnroe's head to win the set. So it was interesting. The first point of the set, Lendl won on a lob, and the last point of the set, he won it almost on an identical lob. Crowd cheered 2-2. We're going to go on to the third set. McEnroe looks kind of spent, but he did have a chance to win this fourth set, much better chance than he did at the third, so you never know what could happen in the fifth. Same case as the 1980 U.S. Open, where McEnroe was up 2-0 over Borg, and Borg won the third and fourth set, and McEnroe ended up winning the fifth. Hope to do that video another day, but in this case, we'll see if he can repeat that history, or if Lendl's going to come around and win this fifth set. Also, I know I talk so much about McEnroe because he's sort of the protagonist in this, but Lendl really was cagey. He started hitting some different kinds of shots. He would do a serve and volley or come up to the net once in a while. He really he had that great backhand return, and then the lobs. So he was more than just a guy banging away at the baseline, hitting forehands and backhands, but he really started to play a smarter match, and he was tough mentally. So if McEnroe's going to win this match, he's going to have to go and get it. Lendl's definitely not going to give it to him, which he proved in the third and fourth sets. So next video, we'll go on to the fifth and deciding set of this great 1984 French Open.